What up, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome to the Arrowhead Kingdom Chiefs Cast Show. Big reminder that all Chiefs fans are invited to join us for game day. Visit arrowheadkingdom.org to learn more about the group and to find your local chapter. Also, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. We are presented by Complete Weddings and Events, your leading provider of photo, video, DJ, photo booth, lighting, and day of coordination services. Visit them at completewedo.com. All right, y'all, let's talk about the 1-0 Kansas City Chiefs.
Woo! See that right there? See that? See that?
Yeah. What are we looking at, Bryan?
That's that likely guy. His toenail over the boundary of the out of bounds end zone there.
No, man. Hey, I'm that sucks for that guy to have a size 15 shoe. I had to look up his shoe size, and I was thinking, damn, if he'd have had a 14, he'd have been in there.
Well, tip of the hat to him. He did a lot of great things that game. And he had a great game. Tip of the hat to the Ravens.
I don't know why they're running that guy at tight end. He's definitely a possession receiver.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. That guy's been one of the greatest backup tight ends in fantasy football. I think he got severely undervalued this fantasy season.
Really?
Yeah. What do you expect from Mark Andrews going forward? Because he was not used.
He's in defensive. He's a blocking guy situation right now. From what I was looking at, I'm like, looks like they're using him, not so much in the tight end role that we are used to, with a Travis Kelce situation. Like, oh, he's in blocking territory now. So if he's going to make space for Henry, or if he's going to make space for Jackson, it looks like they have their weapons with Likely and Flowers, and that's the move. And then you have Jackson running it. Like, I don't know what his role is going to be. We'll see what happens. But I think for this game, they're using him in blocking, a blocking move.
Well, you know what? He's the new Belldozer, Mark Andrews. He's the Belldozer. He's Blake Bell at this point. I think number 80. What's his name? Isaiah. What's his last name?
Isaiah Likely.
Likely. Oh, that's a cool name. Isaiah Likely. That's your receiving tight end right there.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk a little bit more about Isaiah Likely. It is very likely that we're going to be hearing from him again. But during his post-game conference, one of the things that I noticed, the Ravens in general were very unhappy to lose that football game.
Yes, they were.
I think that's an understatement. And so let's talk about Likely first. So Likely essentially got up and said, if this is the best they've got, this is going to be a different situation in the postseason. Essentially,
and I said, Likely, you're poking the bear.
But the
last
Ravens,
time someone said that about us, the Bengals, we went in there and handled business. So likely just kind of sealed their fate with that.
No one learns. Seems like no one learns from past situations. Like, are you sure you want to say something like that?
By Isaiah Likely.
Don't do that. I mean, Mahomes has a way of just kind of willing these situations whenever those things kind of happen. So, and not to mention, he's got a whole cast of characters around Mahomes. We watching Worthy run. I'm like, holy crap, that guy's fast. And it's like fighting, hitting it from all angles. It was just wild. It was fun. Kelce didn't really do a whole lot, right? He had a couple of receptions and he wasn't really involved all that much, but that we're used to seeing, I should say. Rashee Rice, he was the man. I don't think he scored, but he was like getting the ball down the field the way we needed him to. And Worthy doing his thing. I was just like, wow, this is wild.
He killed that power slot. But let me ask you guys something. Do y'all think that Worthy plays a lot like Tyreek Hill, or does he play more like Deshaun Jackson when he was in his prime in Philadelphia?
I mean, Worthy's a Deshaun Jackson comp. I mean, I think that's been the thing. What I really want to say is that he plays like neither one of them, and he plays like himself.
But
the way that he was utilized, it had some Tyreek Hill vibe to it, where he's running the ball and making
his burst of speed. The burst of speed that we saw, that reverse handoff situation, that was just like, that made my eyebrows go like, wow, that is extraordinary. And I was like, And the blocker, the tip of the hat to the defenders, giving him a lane to do what he needs to do. But when he gets when he has open space to do what he has to do and get open, you're like, it is like the Tyreek Hill situation where you're like, this guy is fast, and when he goes, it's like, good luck. If you're not in front of him, you're not catching him. So good luck.
No, we saw him blow by guys, and when he blew by guys, man, he made them look like they were standing still. Right,
yeah,
like you're on the freeway
Absolutely.
driving. Let's say you're driving a Chevy Equinox, and a doggone Ferrari just goes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do nothing about that.
Yeah, it was so much fun. This obviously this new rookie weapon we have here in the situation here, and it gave me so much excitement because I'm like, wow, we have a whole new weapon here that we haven't seen yet until this game, and I was like, wow, between this and CEH after the 4 games, Rashee Rice is handling his business and doing his thing. Travis Kelce wasn't even utilized all that much, and like, oh my god,
he wasn't. And Rashee Rice, did he not play a lot like Travis Kelce? From that power slot position.
He was the guy that took those balls when they needed to do a conversion. He was the guy that got those balls. So to look at the receiving numbers, Travis Kelce ended up with 3 catches for 34 yards. So that's 11.3.
My theory is like the defense is looking at Kelce all the time. Yeah. And so the misdirection, like, okay, you look at him all you want. I'm going to go over here to Rice. I'm going to go over here to my other weapons. You guys put all your weapons over there. That's fine. So that gives us, okay, we're going to give these guys time to shine, which is a problem if you have Kelce on your fantasy, but it doesn't matter because I want to win football games at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm like, there's got to be like, everyone's wondering where Kelce's at. And while they're all worrying about that, we have all our other weapons doing their thing. So it's like defenses are going to have to get creative or athletic or do something to step up. They're going to have to step it up because it's wild. It's fun.
So the answer for where Kelce was targeted 3 times. He had 3 catches for 11.3 yards on average. And on that Worthy run, he was the guy putting Roquan Smith on the ground.
Yeah, wow. I think if you see adjustments because for the next game, I wonder. I'll be curious to see how they use Worthy. I'm sure they're going to want to see more of the same. If Kelce's now, guess what, bud? You're going to be blocking people now because Worthy's going to be running. We're going to be throwing at him. So,
yeah. Speaking of the Salt Lick and Roquan Smith, so Roquan Smith had that late hit on Mahomes that wasn't flagged late in the game, which whatever, it doesn't matter. It wasn't flagged. But apparently, who's our new tight end that we got from Dallas, Dwayne? 88. What's his name? Hendershot?
Hendershot, yes.
Yeah, so apparently Hendershot, got on Roquan. So Roquan gets in the post game and was just like, oh, number 88, he's going to get his when he gets it. Okay.
Yeah.
You got yours on national TV from Kelce.
My gosh, yeah, it was. My God. The Pacheco, I mean, it was just so fun. It makes me feel so excited for the season. Between Pacheco doing his thing on the.
How did y'all feel about Perrine?
Wish he didn't drop that ball.
Perrine, or I can't even pronounce the guy's name. LaMichael's little cousin. Samaje Perrine.
Samaje Perrine.
Right.
He had the drop pass that I didn't like, but outside of that, I mean, I thought he was a good just get in and make some runs,
I think he's going to really grow into that position. He's our next Jet McKinnon. I think he's going to do great at that position. What about Juju? For a person who hasn't played Juju hadn't played. Did he play past November? I don't think so.
He didn't play any meaningful football.
No, but he almost caught a touchdown pass.
He did, and he didn't catch it. That was unfortunate. He was hit when he did. I understand why he didn't hold on to that ball, but no, that was almost a really good story. But he went out and he got himself open in the end zone to a point where he could have caught a touchdown. So that's something to build on.
Are we seeing the praises of the defense? How about them, huh? Took care. Defense. Okay, I like how I was worried about Derrick Henry. Don't get me wrong. The whole time I was worried about Derrick Henry in that first drive. I was like, oh God. And then he's kind of quiet. Whenever they gave the ball to him, it was kind of quiet the rest of the game. So I mean, you have Lamar Jackson. It was really a story of 2 halves where you have Lamar running, obviously doing his thing where he works with his legs. But I don't know what if there's some sort of strategy where he's like, look, you got to throw more in the second half or the halfway through the third quarter, where he's like, yeah, throw more. And he started throwing more, and his legs weren't working, weren't doing his thing as much. So I was, but I mean, I guess I'm surprised that Henry was not as much of a factor, though he did score a touchdown. The first drive, he scored a touchdown. So that, dare I say that, but I was just, I guess, expecting more noise out of him after that. So I think defense really did their job.
And I was wondering why they didn't run him more. I was thinking, was he gassed or was he hurt or what?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't the Titans run Henry more in the second half of the 2019 and 2020 Super Bowl 54 season? Why didn't the Ravens run it more last year? All I'll say is this: that first defensive series is not a good look for our team. Not getting off the field on 3rd and 11 and letting Lamar run for that first down was bad. But that was the only really bad getting just handled drive that the Ravens had, with the exception of the last one of the game.
Yeah.
Last one of the game, Lamar walked down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. That last drive was like, where this happened? What's this all about?
Exactly. Where'd that come from? And it was a different gear. And then that Likely play in the end. So, yes, Likely could wear 14 and a half shoes or 14s, and his toe might have been in. The other thing he could have done was separate earlier, so Lamar could have actually hit a ball to him. The other thing that could have happened is Lamar could have hit Flowers when he was wide open the play before that.
Yeah, that was the move right there. That was the move right there. Hit Flowers. Flowers was wide open.
Exactly. Now, what I thought was crazy, because, I mean, I was watching the game, and I got a question for you guys about that after this. Okay. I was watching the game, and I felt after that first drive, Ravens score, the Chiefs return it with Worthy immediately. I felt like the Chiefs had that game pretty in hand, and there was a spot where they could have gone from really putting things away or letting them get back in. They let them get back in, but that game could have turned into a 34-17 type of thing. But they let the Ravens, score again. And but from a defensive standpoint, I thought they did a good job of tightening down after giving that first one up. But I felt like the game was in control until that last drive, when Lamar just starts walking down the field. And I was like, oh crap, we might actually have a game here. And then they score that touchdown, which I think everybody thought that was a touchdown before they showed the replay. And you see John Harbaugh out there doing the 2. I'm like, oh man, this is going to come down to a 2-point conversion. This is going to be crazy. And what I was immediately thinking, this is a question I was going to ask: where'd you guys watch this game?
In my house.
I watched the game in Houston at Prospect Park. There was a lot of Chiefs people there. It was raining real bad, so Little Woodrow's didn't have a big turnout where the Kingdom usually be. So I drove on over to Prospect Park right next to the Galleria, and that thing was full of Chiefs people. And it was a whole lot of fun.
Got it. So I was at one of our Arrowhead Kingdom watch party bars out in San Diego, a place called Home and Away. It's in Old Town. If you know San Diego, it's right next to the airport, but it's at the very edge of Old Town. Place was just off the hook, completely packed. There were a couple of people that were not Chiefs fans, but otherwise the entire restaurant bar area, inside, outside, everything was good. There was a dude in a Raiders jersey. There was a guy in a Chargers jersey walking around waiting to just start running his mouth at people. And of course, he was a short little, elfy looking dude that could not wait to
Napoleon
little man's complex.
Could not wait to start running his mouth at the end. And he was gone by the middle of the third quarter. But earlier that week, so the game was Thursday, on Wednesday, I went out and played disc golf with family. And we go to the grocery store to grab food to grill by the pool at the timeshare we stayed at. So I go in, grab everything. Did I get a cart? Hell no. Why would I need a cart? So I load up all the food. I go drop it on the conveyor to check out. And the one cashier they had was arguing with a guy, I think, over whether EBT should cover certain things that he had. So I'm like, all right, I got a couple of minutes. I'm going to go grab some gluten-free bread for my wife, which turned into I'm going to grab some beer for myself as well. So I come back and I drop all this stuff on the conveyor. There were 3 people in line. And this dude's just sitting here ringing everything up, doesn't know whose stuff it is. So I walk up, I put the beer on there. He's like, "Oh, you're back. Great." And then he looks at me, he's just like, "Oh man, what the hell? What are you doing wearing all this Chief stuff?" He's like, "I don't even want to check you out right now." And I'm like, sorry, I'm from Kansas, blah, blah, blah. And he keeps pushing, and then he tells me that he's a Ravens fan. Okay, well, yeah, I have a good game coming up Thursday. Everything is just like, yeah, well, I hate your team. I'm like, hey, I understand why you would, blah, blah, blah. And then he starts pulling out, he's like, man, you guys are cheaters, and I just can't even look at you, and then the refs and stuff. I'm like, all right, we can do this. We can do this. Yes, I remember the time in the AFC Championship game when the refs made Zay Flowers stretch out and then knock the ball out of his hands. I remember that. That was great. Yeah, I don't understand why they did that. And then he keeps going. He's like, we're going to show everybody what happens on Thursday. I'm like, what the hell matters what happens on Thursday? You guys were shown in January what's up.
Right. Exactly.
In a game that matters. But so at the end of that game, when it's going for 2, I'm like, oh, man. Not like I'm going back into that grocery store for any reason, but it's just, this is going to change what this conversation looks like for a week.
Yeah, the refs discussion. I've been looking at the old online forums about what was the biggest gripe? It was the legal procedure or illegals lining up and all that. That
right. Was I saw all of that. And they're drawing it. They're drawing on the picture. I mean, and at the bar I was at, they had a few Lamar Jackson fans. I don't really call them Ravens fans because that 8 jersey, I saw 20 people with the number 8 jersey. I said, okay, these are, and they were like really when Henry ran that touchdown, oh, they were cussing and acting crazy. And I had fun with the guys acting crazy back with them. It was a group in Houston called KC Red Nation. They're pretty good. I've been inviting a lot of them to our Arrowhead group on Facebook. I'm like, you guys need to join. And they was like, oh, the other people that's down there in Little Woodrow's, yeah. Oh, yeah. And they named some people that they knew and everybody, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So,
but it was fun.
But by the way, so I've got Monday Night Football. We're recording on Monday. I've got Monday Night Football going on my phone through the ESPN app. Has Disney gotten any of this contract stuff worked out with Comcast and
DirecTV? Which I have DirecTV. No, they have not. I don't have ESPN right now.
Matter of fact, who's winning now?
So the Niners are winning 13-7, but okay. I was on a plane today flying, and they've got the seat back on Delta, and you can pick the live TV. So I click on ESPN, and over the last week, the message has been something like DirecTV and ESPN and Disney are working very hard to get this contract going. So the one today said, Disney wants you to miss out on Monday Night Football.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And this is just the Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb contract situation again, which let's pivot to that.
Okay.
So but in the middle of it are us wanting to watch TV. Like, can you please stop this? I want to watch TV. God exactly.
So I put 3 things on Arrowhead Kingdom earlier on Sunday. And so Dak Prescott got his crazy new contract extension, 4 years, $240 million with $231 million guaranteed. Jerry Jones, what is that $9 million that you went to the mat for? Why are you not just Deshaun Watsoning this contract? And I wonder if that 231 was just simply to pass Deshaun Watson's 230. But
yeah, that's exactly
I found that quite humorous. So Dak Prescott's the first $60 million a year man. So 4 years, $240 million. But I just found it hilarious that 90 whatever percent of that contract was guaranteed. We have $9 million just left.
Wow.
Any additional thoughts on that?
Well, that thought on that, Bryan and Josh, at least we know Shedeur Sanders is not going to Dallas.
No, there you go.
That's what that's saying. And then also, it's also saying, bye-bye, Mike McCarthy. After this season, you're gone. I mean, the writing is on the wall. But I wonder who are they going to get that's going to make Dak Prescott work? You paid him $60 million. You got to get him over the wild card hump. You got to at least get him into the NFC Championship.
So that's an interesting comment you brought up. I was listening to the Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle's show this morning on ESPN when I was driving to the airport. And Evan Cohen brought that exact point up. He goes, the only thing that the Cowboys are missing at this point is just make it official and take the specter over Mike McCarthy's job off.
Right.
They give him an extension so that way everything's just set and you can say that you're running with this team.
Yeah. But now I think that, with Jordan Love getting hurt, I don't know if Dallas can beat San Francisco in the post. They might be in the NFC playing the Lions. They're not going to beat the Lions, but if they lose to the Lions, that definitely would save Mike McCarthy's job. That would get him a stick.
By the way, the Lions look good on Sunday night.
Hell yes, they did.
Yeah.
That's who I want in the Super Bowl. That's my pick. Chiefs versus Lions. I've been saying it all summer.
Yeah. I don't think the Packers were Pete Schrager's Super Bowl pick. I'm having a hard time seeing how they move past this early thing. They dropped the game to the Eagles, and then at the same time, Jordan Love goes down with his MCL sprain, right, which they're not putting him on the IR. The numbers that I saw were 4 to 6 weeks. Their early games, I think they play the Texans, the Titans, and someone else. It's not a murderer's row early in the season.
I see some losses in their future.
Well, they can. They certainly can. And if they do have losses, I think that Love rushes himself back.
And that's the worst thing.
So they play the Colts, the Titans, the Vikings, and the Rams. Those are their next 4 games. Then it's the Cardinals, Texans, Jags. So I don't know that we know a ton about. So going down that roster, I think the Colts are tougher than we gave them credit for. I don't think we know anything about the Titans because I'm not sure we know anything about the Bears. I don't think we know anything about the Vikings because all they did was prove the Giants suck.
Yeah.
The Rams are going to be a tough one. The Cardinals hung with the Bills. So the Packers could have some problems at the beginning of the season with Malik Willis because Malik Willis played that last play and his only job was to not get sacked for a Hail Mary, and that's exactly what he did. Got some interesting times coming out of Green Bay.
Yeah. Green Bay. Goodness gracious. Yeah, Green Bay might. I had 3 of them going into the postseason. It's looking like 2. It's going to be the Lions, and I got a funny feeling that the Bears will barely make it in. I just got a weird feeling.
Caleb looked bad until he turned it around.
Sure did.
Yeah. Okay. Next comment that I put out. I think it was interesting with Justin Fields starting for the Steelers. He didn't look great, but they did get the win. Russell Wilson sat out from injury, but he was still in full pads and looked like he could go in at any moment. Any thoughts on that from Bryan? Any thoughts on that one?
After last season with Russell Wilson, I was like, when they picked him up, I'm like, I guess I'm not so surprised. I mean, if he's hurt, he's hurt, and he got to do his thing. But like, he really didn't make it work so well in Denver. He took a lot of their money, and which is pretty funny. And brought it to Pittsburgh.
What'd you say, Bryan? He fleeced the Denver Broncos.
I don't know if I go that far. He signed a contract that everyone agreed to, and he took his money and he moved on, which is totally fine.
Which means, yes, he fleeced them.
A contract was signed with money in it, and I took the money. No, I mean, I guess I wasn't something. I don't know if it's. I don't know enough about football, like what the difference between where he was it Seattle, right, and where he was now to Denver. Is it like a system thing that he just wasn't like Jerry Jeudy there for crying out loud. It wasn't like meshing the way you needed to mesh. And then he goes to Pittsburgh, and I mean, I don't know, like who was Jalen was his name? I'm sorry, I forget his name already. Who was the starting quarterback again for the Steelers?
Justin Fields.
Fields. Yeah, Fields is the, yeah, he's great. I mean,
From
Fields
the
is,
Bears.
yeah, he's good. But it's like, is it, how much of it is like a philosophy and a system and a knowledge and the players you have in front of you? Like maybe it works better. Like, look, this is they're working, they're speaking the language that needs to work, and then it's working. And maybe Russell's not there right now, which is fine. Clearly he's athletic, but it's like, it seems like things got to mesh. Maybe it's not meshing, but if he's hurt, it's hurt. So, but they have tools to work with over there in Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin swears up and down that he's hurt, but he looked pretty ready to go in. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But after last season with Russell, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not seeing it anymore.
So I'm like you now, Bryan. I had a little hope that Russ would turn it around. I believe that they stick with Fields. They ride out Russ's hurt just to save his image, and I believe that Russ will retire after this season. I just can't. He's not going to fleece anybody else.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He. I mean, gosh, I think you're right. I mean, I guess we have nothing to see. We have nothing to go on. We've not seen him do his thing this season yet, right? So we have nothing to go on. I mean, I'd like to see a redemption arc, of some kind. But I think you're right, Dwayne. I just didn't see it last year, and he had weapons to make it happen.
And I'm not really sold on Justin Fields. I never was, but I think that what's his name, Tomlin, he wins enough games to make Justin Fields a game manager per se, and I don't see them. I'm like you now, Josh. I think you were right. They're not going to the postseason. I think they'll be 9-8 at best. And you tried to tell me. You really tried to tell me. I was a little thick-headed, but you were right. And man, I mean, hey,
one game. It's one game. I'm not sure we know anything about Pittsburgh or Atlanta at this point. That wasn't a fun game to watch by any means either.
No, it was horrible.
Yeah. So another comment that I put on Arrowhead Kingdom, and I kind of have a different thought on this than I did when I originally did. So I put a comment about Tyreek Hill being in handcuffs outside of Dolphin Stadium on Sunday morning, and my comment in my head was super, not a great look. Here we go again. But the more time that goes by, I still think that, but I think it less about Tyreek Hill and more about the Miami-Dade Police Department. It just,
yes, me too.
This doesn't look good on them. And my first question is, you're sitting outside the Dolphins stadium. You see an expensive sports car come up. First of all, who the hell do you think is going to be getting out of it? Second of all, what part of that situation makes it take 4 cops to pull you over? And then,
did you see the body cam footage?
Yeah, I haven't watched the body cam footage.
Okay, you saw Dwayne. You saw the body cam footage too. Yeah, I saw it too.
I hope he really goes after Miami-Dade for that, because I mean, I'm like you, Josh. It's as much trouble as Cheetah Hill has been in.
Yeah.
My first thought was, damn, Cheetah, what now?
Well, exactly.
What did you do? But like you say, once you've seen that guy get, reserved to desk duty because of his dumb decision, now I'm like, okay, Miami-Dade, y'all are some idiots.
Well, yeah. First of all, it's like you took 4 officers to take him down, and
all it was, Josh, all it was the guy. Okay, so you have obviously 2 personalities. One was the police officer. Tyreek rolled up the window, and the guy said, "Don't roll that up," and then he got really pissed off about that. And it's just like that was it. And then it turned into like a kind of a battle of back and forth ego kind of thing. And I'm with you, Dwayne, where I'm like, yeah, come on, we gotta de-escalate. This is not like, do you know? You're talking to a guy outside the team, and I'm listening to the guy. I don't want to assume anything, But I'm listening to the guy. I'm like, I don't know if this police officer watches American football. Do you know that's Tyreek Hill? Because
Yeah,
I'm like,
seriously.
I mean, seriously, if you watch him, like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I assume you know American football, but I could be wrong. But maybe he doesn't care. He's a young guy. Everyone here is young and they don't care. They just want to be respect my authority level stuff. I'm like, okay. Um, and it was a roll up the window situation. Do as I say, do as I say. No, no, no. I'm like, guess what? Cuffs. I'm like, come on. Okay. Can you just not do that right now? Like figure it out from there. So it was wild. I mean, it was really pretty basic. The Just roll out the window, then they bring him out, and then there was just a back and forth thing situation there. So, but yeah, they need to be. I think the people who are in charge outside of the stadium. Can we please know who the players are before
Yeah,
we get to that
seriously.
situation? So, and I feel like that the police officer was like looking for a thing. Like the first thing he said was like, "Where's your seatbelt? Where's your seatbelt?" I'm like, oh God, are you gonna get that like hot headed about that? That
Yeah,
seems
for real.
ridiculous. We lost
Well, it
Dwayne.
looks like we lost Dwayne. I think we covered most of the stuff from the game. We'll give him a chance to come back. Any other stuff you want to get into? I don't know if you want to talk about college football. I'm not sure I do.
No. I want to talk more about the game here. So Mahomes did Mahomes things. Yeah, it was like we're back, baby. It felt really good. I feel good. I feel
It felt
really
great.
good.
It felt
Felt
great watching that
it was
offense.
fun. And I think the rest of the people watching were like, "Oh God!" I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?"
Exactly.
We have all the weapons we have in play. Our defense is doing what it does. Chris Jones in there causing problems. It just felt good. And it was yeah. I'm excited. Everyone needs to stay healthy and stay competitive. So, uh, yeah. I mean, Xavier Worthy, who would have thought, right? Like rookie first game and 2 touchdowns. That's nuts. It's great.
So Worthy, what I think was crazy, I saw an Casey Starr article about how he had an 18-minute interview at the NFL Combine and knocked it so far out of the park that it was unreal. And it goes through how Veach Nagy, the receiver coach, I can't remember the guy's name, can't remember who wrote the article for the Star. I should probably write stuff like this down. Anyway, they're going through how the guy was sitting there breaking down plays at a level that quarterbacks normally do, where he understood not only the route that he was running, but all the pieces that played into it moving into that route being picked. And so the guy's sitting there breaking down the offense, and you get notes where NFL scouts, coaches, all of this, they talk to players all the time, and they've developed a good BS meter. They can tell when somebody's making stuff up, and kind of like a good college professor. They're like, no, 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 this guy's legit. And then it was just, there's no way that he's gonna last long enough to get to us. And then they got the chance to trade with the Bills.
Stop trading with the Chiefs, Bills.
Exactly. And then here's a name that I did write down. So I watched a clip from the Pat McAfee show, and it's a guy named Boston Connor who's a Patriots fan. And he goes on this whole tirade. He's like, I'm glad my team sucks because nobody's beating the Chiefs. And nobody's beating the Chiefs when you have teams like Buffalo giving them players like Xavier Worthy. It's like, why would you trade with that team? Why are you doing this? Even if you didn't want the player, why are you trading with those guys?
Yeah, it's it's all hindsight is 2020 in those situations.
It
He'd be the
is
fastest guy in the world, right?
100%.
And so we can enjoy these, and we'll see what happens in the next game. Do you think Xavier Worthy's gonna be as involved in the next game as he was in this game?
Well, so that's what I'm curious about because I like the comment that you make about hindsight being 2020. Dwayne, welcome back. We're talking about Xavier Worthy. So
Yeah.
everything looks crazy. The Bills look insane for trading Worthy to the Chiefs. And Bryan made the comment, hindsight's 2020. And I think that's what excited me the most about this first game is not only does the offense look potent again, not only did Mahomes look completely in sync with the weapons that he had, not only did Rice look awesome, not only did Pacheco look motivated, but then add on top of that, Xavier Worthy, the guy that we traded up for, comes out and is as advertised.
Oh, wasn't that
100%
awesome?
as advertised. That was wild.
That was awesome.
Do you think, Dwayne? Do you think Worthy is going to be as involved in the next game as he was this? You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I really think like he showed what he has, and they're like, guess what? You're going to get some more reps in there. We need to see more, and I'm excited to see it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just saw a clip come up. Have you seen any of the pictures where they put a side by side of the Montreal Canadiens jerseys versus what the New York Giants wore on Sunday?
No,
No,
did not.
Okay, it's hilarious because they basically wore the Montreal Canadiens jerseys except the football version.
Well, we're talking about the Bills right now.
No, I'm talking about the New York Giants. The Giants have that like red and blue stripe type of thing going on. They're not good. They're not good uniforms.
They're ugly.
I don't care about the Giants. They're quarterback of the rough game.
They're going to be pick one in the draft.
Yeah,
they probably will. I mean, the Panthers might be fighting with them too.
And Burrow's sucking air right now. What the hell, dude? This is bad.
It's the first game of the season. The Bengals never really get it together until somewhere between week 3 and 5.
You know, that was our story
That's
a few years ago.
History at this point.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll be wild to see that. But I'm excited for this. I'm going to be watching Worthy. I'm going to be watching. I mean, Carson Steele only had a few, one touch or two touches. I mean, we have Pacheco was handling his business anyways. So it'll be. Can you imagine if like Carson Steele had himself a Worthy game the next game? We have like all these weapons in advance with what we have. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. I think he will. I mean, I'm with Croc. I'm with Crocky. I know they all call him the war horse, and he is the war horse, but he's Crocky Steele, man. Crocky Steele Balboa.
He had 2 carries for 5 total yards, for 3 total yards. He had a 5-yard run and then he lost 2.
Yeah,
I look for this guy to really show out, man, against the Bengals. But yes, to answer your question, Worthy is the guy.
Okay, so getting into the Bengals, are the Bengals gonna wake up for week 2, or are we gonna see more of this getting beat by the Patriots Bengals?
It's gonna be ugly because
nasty.
Higgins is not playing, so they're one dimensional with Chase, with Jamar Chase, and I believe that McDuff is going to shut him down.
All right.
Yeah.
Heard that here.
McDuff. Yeah. He's done it before. Is that he has shown up and shown out whenever he needs to do for against these elite wide receivers. Like, yeah, he takes care of business when he always rises to the occasion, but it seems like he has an extra chip on his shoulder when it's like wide receivers like Jamar Chase level stuff. Like he really wants to show up for those.
He shows up and shows out. He's smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy.
He's smoother than a fresh jar of what?
Of Skippy.
Oh wow.
Smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy. That's a line from the great song Uptown Funk. Yes.
Actually, question. So I had this posed 4 years ago at this point, but as we clicked over into 2020, the question came up: what was the best song of the 2010s?
Best songs of the 2010s.
I mean, I think the top song of the 2010s is Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk. It was the most played song. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, and that's part of what we're getting into. I don't know that I would say that it was the best piece of composition that existed, and I don't even know that I'm prepared to.
But it was definitely hot.
Yeah. So the argument that went on online between a handful of friends, somebody made a comment about Avicii's song "Levels" being the most important song or the song of the decade. It's like, well, that brought in the pop EDM. And my comment back was, in 30 years, we're going to be listening to Uptown Funk at weddings.
Yes.
And yes. I don't play Levels anymore.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, Uptown Funk has that kind of Michael Jackson at wedding territory situation. Where
it's got a little bit of that Morris Day in the Time kind of feel to it.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson.
It's like playing Billie Jean, and you got to play Uptown
Justin
Funk.
Timberlake.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
definitely the song of the decade, if you ask me.
I agree.
I suppose. I mean, gosh, it has the most like, I guess, it has legs for sure.
That
like
staying power.
You can play it at weddings. You can play it at what's the thing Jerry Seinfeld once said? He's like, well, your music is like your food. It's like it's your taste. Like you like what you eat. You like what you like. You're gonna eat that food. I don't like this thing. But I guess so the question is like, what is the song of the decade? Like if that is the most spun thing, I mean, I'd have to go back. I'm drawing a blank on other songs. I'm sure there's some competitive ones out there, but yeah, it's not hard to dance to. If you're at a wedding party, you want to dance. You got 4.5 minutes right there, and that'll get you moved. What's that thing, Josh? I would always say if I was DJing a wedding and no one dances to Usher's "Yeah," "Shout," or "Twist and Shout," I'm like, well, this is not a fun crowd. This is gonna suck because no one wants to dance.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good song. I'm not talking shit on it. Just trying to put a little thought out there.
Yeah, I got you. No, and to go back to your food analogy, there's a reason most people like hamburgers.
Yeah.
You know, everybody eats hamburgers.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I've met anybody that does not like a hamburger.
Or pizza. Like, well, what's that thing that Vince Vaughn said? He's like,
maybe it's not pizza. It's
there's no bad pizza. Pizza. It's great. It's fine.
Well, exactly. Pizza's pizza. You can have vegetarian pizza. You can have all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll eat it. I mean, it's not the best pizza, but I'll still eat it. It's great. It's pizza. So
exactly. If you could only have one food for the rest of your life, I would say pizza makes most people's top 3 list.
Yeah. No, I mean, as the food situation rolls out, pizza, Mexican food like tacos and hamburgers, like we really got some good stuff going on. In this part of the world.
Yeah, for real. Speaking of Mexican, San Diego always does a great burrito, which is where I was last week.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
Yeah. Anytime you can get a California burrito, so it's carne asada steak. It's got sour cream. It's got guacamole. Of course, it's got the cheese and the other stuff in there, but they put French fries in it too.
Really?
Oh,
California
wow. Burrito. Okay, I'll have to see it to believe it and taste it to believe it.
Yeah, I'd have to taste that. The French fries kind of threw me off a little bit. But...
no, it's incredible. So it's like being out in Pittsburgh and getting a sandwich from Permani Brothers. It's the pastrami sandwich, grilled hot sandwich, stacked high with French fries on it. So the concept behind that was that truck drivers rolling through downtown Pittsburgh could go into Permani Brothers and get their entire meal in one hand so they could drive and, eat. It's like the original drive-through.
Yeah, our food situation during the football game was a taco night situation. So that was pretty sweet. What's that song? I was actually I was singing the song the whole day. It was it goes, white people taco night. We're having white people taco night. It goes, we're getting taco shells from the grocery store and lettuce from the grocery store and ground beef from the grocery store and sour cream from the grocery store and salsa from the grocery store. So it's like everything that's in that.
Okay, so this is a song by
it was awesome.
Lou Burger, White People Taco Night.
Yeah, it was White People Taco Night that night.
It's called White People Taco Night. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
you want to play it? Do you have it? Do it.
Yeah, I can play that.
And, I love that song.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly it. Yes.
All right. So let me get this cued correctly. Oh God. Okay. So we'll just show this entire thing.
Yeah, do it. Share the sound. Make sure you share the sound. This is I laughed so hard the first time I saw this song.
Bryan, we'll make sure we get this linked in the write up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll happily share this song.
Share sound.
Getting taco shells from the grocery store and ground beef from the grocery store and shredded cheese from the grocery store and Ortega sauce from the grocery store. And I can't wait to sit at my table and sprinkle everything on into my shells and eat each taco as fast as I can so I can have another taco.
Or 2 or 3 or 4.
It's a white people taco night. A white people taco night. It's not limited to only white people, but white people love it the most. And we like lettuce, and we like cheese, and we like tomatoes and sour cream, and we like to pretend we work at Taco Bell, but nobody wants to work at Taco Bell. We got our thanks to give to the grocery store, and Mom and Dad for going to the store, and to ourselves for helping unload the car, and to Taco themselves. We love you, tacos. White people taco night. A white people taco night.
That was literally every brand exactly
to
what we bought.
Only white people, but white people love it the most. White people love it the most. And many white people think white people invented tacos.
Many white people think white people invented tacos.
Wow.
I've never heard that lyric. It's wild. No,
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah, that was basically, yeah. I'm going to the grocery store to get shell. So, yeah, that was basically, and you know what? It was awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
I like how the ground beef was the exact same with the ground beef I bought, by the way, in that video.
Yeah, 80%. I mean, that's the ground beef. You're going to be draining some grease off of that, but it's the best tasting stuff.
It was on sale.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I guess I like white people's tacos too.
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, my wife is always get the 94% lean. No,
No,
No.
I'm gonna stop it right there.
Why would
Yeah.
I do that?
Yeah,
I want to eat hamburger, not whatever that is.
that's right.
Yeah.
I want the stuff injected with grease and water, you know?
I like how you can spend like, I don't know, $60 on that and it lasts all week. So like works out to like 84 cents a meal. That's like,
Yeah.
This is awesome.
White people taco night.
Night. That's so catchy.
Good
So,
stuff.
It is. Kid.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
so next week we're not doing tacos next week. We'll have to figure something else out for the next game. But
Are you gonna make some Cincinnati chili?
Yeah. What did
mm,
they put in there? They put beans in there or something?
Okay, so you don't like Cincinnati chili. I like Cincinnati chili. I'm not afraid to admit that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
Tanya, you know what? Tanya had my wife unironically doesn't realize this, but she will put noodles and ground beef on noodles normally. And I'm like, oh hey, this is like Skyline chili actually in Cincinnati. That's how she likes to eat noodles and beef. So
the best way to do that, I don't know if your grocery store, I think most Kroger's actually carry cans of that stuff. But you can go on Amazon and order a 4-pack of Skyline chili cans. Make some spaghetti, get some sharp cheddar cheese, and you have Cincinnati chili. So
Cincinnati chili is basically spaghetti.
Well, so it's over spaghetti, but the chili itself is finely ground beef. It's got nutmeg in it, so it's got a little bit of a sweet and spicy kind of kick to it. But then it's the beef, and then you can add onions, you can add beans, and then you have cheese. So 3-way is noodles, beans, and cheese, or noodles, chili, and cheese. 4-way is add onions. 5-way is add beans.
Oh wow!
yeah, it's just
and then you can do chili dogs. Those are good too, which is just the chili and the cheddar on a hot dog.
which is fine. Yeah, it's just putting on noodles is a little bit different than most individuals aren't used to. But yeah, it works. It works fine. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I'm not gonna write home. Like, see, I hate the debate about like what's it called? Chili and a cinnamon roll. Like people have high opinions about that. I'm like, that's actually
What?
I didn't realize that was
chili on a cinnamon roll.
Okay, so we're gonna do this here.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, it's real.
Okay, so quick story for you, Dwayne. Quick backstory. 8 years ago from last season, we had tailgate up in Lambeau, Chiefs for the Packers. Okay, so we smoked up a brisket. We were making brisket sandwiches. We went and bought some onion rings. We were making knockoff Z-Mins from Joe's KC.
Oh, wow.
So I have the leftover brisket. I make a bunch of chili, take it to work. But the day before, I make a comment. I'm like, I don't want to be eating chili for 2 weeks. Some of this just needs to go away. And some of this brisket needs to go away as well. So I'm going to bring chili in tomorrow. And all my coworkers are like, oh, that's so awesome. I'll bring cheese. I'll bring sour cream. I'll bring crackers. I'll bring all of this. I'm like, yeah, cool. And I'll stop by the bakery on the way to the office and grab some cinnamon rolls. And everybody stops and looks at me. And they're like, why would you get cinnamon rolls? And my comment was, we're having chili. So where Bryan and I are from, Bryan, talk about growing up. What was school like?
School lunch around fall time, very commonly, it would happen. You have a cinnamon roll and chili bowl. You have a cinnamon roll over here, and you have a chili bowl over here. And I didn't think anything of it because it worked so great. I'm like, yeah, this is great. You have the over here and you a piece of a cinnamon roll. And yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that was out of the ordinary until I got older.
Yeah.
Like, wait, that's weird? Really? I didn't know that.
That sounds weird.
My coworkers
that sounds weird to us
like
Texans, because we don't do anything like that.
Yeah, so my coworkers looked at me like I had a horn growing out of my forehead because apparently they don't do that in Wisconsin either. And so we start the whole Google research because I go home and I make a comment to my wife who's from Southern California. She's like, yeah, that's weird. I've just never said anything because you've always done it and you always seemed like it made sense, but whatever. So we start doing research. Apparently, that's a Nebraska and Kansas thing.
Yeah, it's very specific to this.
And then places close to it. But yeah, I mean, anytime chili was served growing up, it didn't matter if it was mom's house, grandma's house, school, some kind of soup,
cinnamon roll next to you.
Soup supper. There was always a cinnamon roll next to it.
Yeah.
So exactly. So we continued the experiment. We had a group of people come over. This was early before we had our big watch party in Milwaukee. We hosted people at our house.
Okay.
And so I made chili, I made cinnamon rolls, I set it out, and I just let it go. Just let everybody come in.
Now, do y'all dip the cinnamon rolls in the chili? Please don't say
I'm a dipper. I'm a
dipper.
dipper.
My God.
But so as we're sitting there, a couple of the guys that are Wisconsin natives are just like, Josh, what the hell is going on with the cinnamon rolls? This dude from Chanute, Kansas, which is down by Wichita, comes in, takes a cinnamon roll, puts it in his bowl, plops chili on top of it, and just goes, well, it's not my problem. You guys don't know how to eat a bowl of chili. And so everybody was doing that. It's the sweet and savory.
Give it a shot, Dwayne. Give it a shot. Obviously,
it's pretty awesome.
Give it a shot. I mean,
I'll give it a shot. I might like it. It just sounds weird.
Yeah, if you don't, give it a shot. You record yourself doing it. I'd like to see a reaction. And if you don't, it's totally okay if you don't like it. I get it. It's fine. I you know what? I don't like dipping my fries in Frosties from Wendy's, and that's not me.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, but I know most people tell me I'm nuts for not liking that, but people love it. I'm not big on that, but it's kind of the same kind of concept, the sweet and the salty kind of thing. But I do like the chili and the cinnamon roll thing.
Bryan, I feel like we should make a commercial. If you from the people who brought you White People Taco Night, you have chili and cinnamon rolls.
Have you ever heard about chili and
cinnamon
rolls? Well, let me tell you about that. All right, first off, you have the sweet and the chili. I would like to see. I give it a shot. I mean, I might be biased because I grew up around it, but I eat it now. I'm like, this is still, I'll eat this. This is great.
I'm 100% biased. It's necessary if you're making it.
Right.
Okay. So getting back to Cincinnati chili, my favorite way to do Cincinnati chili is make mac and cheese and pour that chili over it.
No, you know what? That might work. That might actually work.
Sounds good.
I can see that being very, very delicious.
Yeah, especially if you do the mac and cheese, or you make the cheese like a gravy sauce type of stuff. It works quite well.
I'm hungry now. We gotta get out of here. I'm hungry now.
Yeah, for real.
Let's get
Okay, so let's get a score prediction for this Bengals game. I'm thinking we've got the Chiefs winning by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 28-14.
28-14 is my call.
Is that what Bryan says too?
Yep, 28-14.
Let's just make it a trio. Yeah, 28-14 is how this game's going
to go. 28-14.
DraftKings, let's do it. Let's put a bet on it, all of us.
There we go. Does Worthy get another one?
Yes.
Does Rice get one this week?
Yes.
Does Kelsey get one this week?
Yes.
Does Pacheco get the fourth one?
And the fourth touchdown, I don't have Pacheco. I have Pacheco running for like 150 yards against them, but I got Crocky Steele.
Crocky Steele. Okay.
I got him getting a touchdown on the goal line.
Oh, I hope so.
So he's gonna vulture Pacheco's touchdown.
You're right.
I have a feeling Mahomes is gonna run one in. Now we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. What do you got for a final take, Bryan?
Oh, you know what? Today, my son, I took him to the gym today, and we're playing football, right? I'm trying to like get him used to that, and a little moment clicked where he's learning how to throw the ball. And then something clicked in his head where he started throwing it consistently farther in spirals. And he goes, wait, I think I found something. And he's like trying to figure out how his wrist and how the arm extension works.
Oh, wow.
And he had a little moment, and it worked consistently, then not so much. But he was like, okay, but try it again. And he kept like figuring it out. And then there's kind of a moment where he was just like, okay, something's working. I think I see it. I think I see my mental thought process. I think I'm the arm, the hand, and all that. And I was trying to explain to him, like, that's how it works. You keep practicing it. Something hits, and then it makes sense to you. And then you try it again and try to groove it and remember that. And sometimes it won't work out, but you have to come back to that. So it was a fun moment today where it's just like, I'm raising a young dude here. And in a little moment like that, it's just like, it was just like the light bulb went off and I was there to see it. I'm like, yeah, okay, you just keep trying, keep going. And keep carving in your brain and keep getting that muscle memory, and let's see where we're at. And but he wanted after that, we always go play. We shoot hoops for a little while. And I'm like, okay, you ready to go home? He's like, no, I want to throw the football a few more times and go back. And we go in there and throw it again and see if
proud dad moment. I love it.
Yeah, it was fun. So I just wanted to say that it was really fun.
It's good stuff. What do you got, Dwayne?
Well, I got another house under contract, and we're gonna go close this Saturday. So I'm excited about that. And I got the Longhorns trailing all the way to the national championship. I don't think they could be stopped right now. Not even Bama or Georgia is ready for the Horns, baby. And on that one, I just wonder who's going to win this game tonight. I picked San Francisco, but I really want Rodgers to beat them. So after we get off, I'm going to go in and watch a little watch the rest of Monday Night Football. And this is one of those things that I hope I'm wrong on, but I picked San Francisco for the safe pick. But we shall see.
Yeah. All right, so Indiana Fever locked up a playoff berth. So Caitlin Clark, as a rookie, to make it to the WNBA playoffs. I think that's interesting. A little fortunate news earlier this week: Angel Reese is out for the rest of the season. Chicago sitting in that 8 seed spot right now. I think the league is more interesting when they're all playing. What's really probably going to happen is the New York Liberty or the Minnesota Lynx winning the title. But seeing Caitlin Clark in the playoffs, I think is good stuff. And as of right now, if the playoffs started, her team, the Indiana Fever, would be in a 6-3 matchup with the Connecticut Sun. So,
all right,
awesome.
Things are
awesome. And before we go, rest in peace to the great James Earl Jones, the voice. May the force be with him in the ancestral realm in heaven. And hey, I guess he's like one of the last of the dying breeds, and he died today at 93 years old. Guy was a great actor.
My favorite. I liked him in Coming to America.
Yes.
I had the experience of tying my own shoe, and it was not great.
It was
Yeah.
great.
So
Or I
son
love when he
works.
said, "My son works."
My son works.
that movie is so funny. Oh my god, what a great movie!
It was
What
just
a great-
yesterday that I ordered your first diaper changed, and now look at you. You're a man.
Yeah. Ordered it. He didn't change it. His
He
wife didn't
ordered
change
it.
He ordered it.
He ordered it, yes.
First diaper change. Yeah, no,
Oh.
James Earl Jones, R.I.P. Field of Dreams, another good one. He
yeah.
was awesome in what the hell? Dr. Strangelove. He was part of the bomber
Yes.
pilot crew. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. James
Oh,
Earl
yeah.
Jones is awesome.
He's the man. It's great. Rest in peace, man.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. Well, we will get back to this next week. And until next time, go.
Oh, Chiefs.
Chiefs.